Here's why you play Phoveus, the Chains of Sin in the EXP lane. First off, he's excellent at countering mobile heroes, making him a nightmare for enemies who rely on dash or blink skills. His passive grants burst damage and a shield, giving him strong trading potential in lane. Phoveus also has chain crowd control through his skills and ultimate, allowing him to lock down targets and quickly capitalize on enemy movements. In team fights, his ability to leap repeatedly onto enemies makes him extremely dangerous if not dealt with. However, Phoveus relies heavily on enemy mobility to maximize its kit, and he struggles against ranged heroes with strong zoning or crowd control. He also has a difficult time clearing waves efficiently in the early game. Phoveus' passive, Demonic Force, allows his next basic attack to dash toward an enemy, knock them back slightly, deal extra damage based on their max HP, and gain a shield. This ability has a cooldown but can be shortened whenever an enemy nearby blinks, dashes, or gets displaced. Additionally, each time this is triggered, it reduces the cooldown of his other skills slightly, rewarding awareness and positioning. Phoveus' first skill, Demonic Impact, slams his monolith into the ground, dealing damage in a small area and slowing enemies. If he hits an enemy, his next cast will leave behind an Astra's Eye, which explodes after a short delay, dealing extra magic damage. The skill is important for lane trading, poking, and setting up further combos. Phoveus' second skill, Dark Wave, releases a wave of demonic energy that knocks enemies airborne while pulling them slightly forward. It can interrupt skills and be a key setup for his passive or ultimate. The skill provides his only reliable crowd control outside of his ultimate and helps in chaining damage. Phoveus' ultimate, Infernal Pursuit, allows enemies to gain a Sinner's Mark from Phoveus' skills. He can then leap toward them and slam down with his monolith, dealing AoE damage and healing himself based on lost HP. This ultimate can be recast multiple times if different enemies are marked, allowing Phoveus to become a true threat during chaotic team fights. A typical skill combo for Phoveus is start with its enhanced basic attack to close the gap and knock the enemy back while marking them. Use your ultimate to slam down and deal heavy burst damage, immediately follow up with your first skill to slow the enemy, and then use a second skill to pull and CC them. If the enemy blinks or dashes again, your passive cooldown will drop, letting you continue your combo with another basic attack and ultimate. Repeat the chain as long as marks and mobility triggers are present. Moving on to builds, I usually build Tough Boots, Thunder Belt, Antique Cuirass, Radiant Armor, Dominance Eyes, and finally Blade Armor. These are the emblems that go along with this build. As for battle spells, the best battle spells for Phoveus in my opinion are Flame Shot, Petrify or Flicker, or sometimes even Execute. Flame Shot for extra poke and finishing off opponents, Petrify for locking down enemies in place to combo with his skills, Flicker works if you need repositioning, while Execute can help secure kills in 1v1 situations. Phoveus excels against heroes with lots of dashes like 1-1 Arlet and Cho. These heroes unintentionally lower his cooldowns and allow him to trigger his passive and ultimate more often. On the flip side, Phoveus struggles against ranged heroes with strong CC or zone control such as Aurora, Valier, and Vexana, who can lock him down or kite him from afar. He works best with tanks like Minotaur, Sigurd like Gacha who can group up enemies and take aggro, while Phoveus moves freely to deal damage. You start by upgrading the first skill level 1 for poking, process maxing the first skill for lower cooldown and stronger slows. Then upgrade the second skill for better CC, and most importantly upgrade the ultimate whenever available. When using Phoveus, patience and timing are key. Don't waste your ultimate early, wait until enemies have dash or blink so you can maximize its chaining potential. Try to stick near the enemy backline in team fights so you can punish multiple blink or dash users in a row. Use a second skill to interrupt channeling abilities or catch mobile targets off guard. The first skill is great for zoning and dealing with grouped up enemies, especially since the delayed AoE from Astra's Eye can force enemies to reposition. Your passive also gives you a shield and mobility, so use it to engage or dodge enemy abilities. If you see enemies without mobility skills, play more defensively, as you won't be able to trigger your recast as often. In lane, you might have a slow start, but once you hit at level 4 and enemies start rotating, you become much more effective in skirmishes.